Imagine a grand mansion perched on the edge of New York City, its towering windows overlooking the glittering skyline of Manhattan. This is the Sterling estate, home to Lauren Hayes, a woman who has spent the last 5 years of her life in a quiet, lonely vigil. Her husband, Grayson Sterling, the billionaire CEO of Sterling Corporation, lies in a coma, his once vibrant spirit trapped in silence after a mysterious car accident. For 5 years, Lauren has cared for him, her days filled with the hum of medical machines and the weight of a love she's not sure he can feel anymore. She's been a ghost in her own life, moving through the halls of this opulent prison, her heart tethered to a man who might never wake up. But everything changes on a crisp autumn morning. Charles Sterling, Grayson's stern yet kind-hearted grandfather, arrives at the mansion. His silver hair gleams in the sunlight as he steps into Grayson's room, where Lauren sits by the bedside, her hands gently adjusting the blanket over her husband. Charles carries a leather-bound journal, its edges worn from time. He places it in Lauren's hands, his voice soft but firm. "This was Grayson's diary," he says. "He wrote it before the accident. I think you should read it." Lauren looks at him, puzzled, but nods. She doesn't know it yet, but this simple book is about to rewrite her world. That night, alone in the dim glow of a bedside lamp, Lauren opens the diary. The pages crackle as she turns them, and Grayson's handwriting leaps out at her, bold and alive. She reads his words, each one a whisper from a past she's almost forgotten. "Lauren is my light," he wrote 5 years ago. "Every day with her feels like a gift I don't deserve. I dream of building a life together, a love that outlasts time." Tears sting her eyes as she traces the ink. She hasn't felt this close to Grayson since the accident stole him away. The diary is a lifeline, pulling her back to the man she married, the man she swore to love forever. Something shifts inside her. For 5 years, she's cared for Grayson out of duty, her hope fading with each silent day. But now, these words ignite a fire she thought had died. She wants to prove that their love still matters, that she's still the woman he wrote about. She leans over his still form, his handsome face peaceful in sleep, and makes a quiet vow. "I'll show you," she whispers. "I'll keep you with me, no matter what." It's then that she starts something unusual, something desperate. Every day, she takes a sip of water, holds it in her mouth, and gently presses her lips to his, letting the droplets trickle past his lips. It's not medical, not scientific, just a strange, tender ritual born from love and longing. She believes, somehow, that it keeps him alive, that it ties her soul to his. What Lauren doesn't know is that Grayson isn't as lost as she thinks. A year ago, in a secret recovery home in the Hamptons, he opened his eyes. Dr. Ellis, a trusted physician loyal to the Sterling family, had been by his side, helping him regain his strength in private. The accident 5 years ago left him broken, but his mind stayed sharp. He could have returned to the world, reclaimed his life as the powerful CEO he once was, but he didn't. Instead, he made a choice. He'd heard whispers, rumors, that Lauren might not be the devoted wife she seemed. Vanessa Pierce, his ex-fiancée, had planted seeds of doubt, claiming Lauren stayed only for the Sterling fortune. Grayson needed to know the truth. So he came back to the mansion, slipped into his old bed, and pretended to still be lost in a coma, watching her every move. For a year he's lain there, silent and still, feeling her presence, listening to her soft words. He's felt her lips against his, the cool water she offers in that strange, intimate way. It's a secret he keeps locked inside, a test he's set for her. Is she the woman he loved, the one he poured his heart into in that diary? Or has she become someone else in the 5 years he's been gone? As Lauren sits by his side, reading his words and vowing to fight for their love, Grayson lies awake behind closed eyes, his heart torn between trust and suspicion. The stage is set, and neither of them knows that a single moment, a single kiss, is about to change everything. The Sterling mansion feels different now, alive with a quiet energy Lauren hasn't felt in years. It's been a week since she started reading Grayson's diary, and every page fuels her resolve. She's not just a caretaker anymore. She's a woman fighting to reclaim the love she once knew. The grand halls echo with her footsteps as she moves with purpose, her mind set on protecting what's left of the Sterling legacy. Grayson lies still in his room, his breathing steady, his face a mask of calm. Lauren doesn't know his eyes follow her when she's not looking, that he's been awake for a year testing her every move. But today, that fragile piece is about to shatter. The doorbell rings, a sharp sound cutting through the morning silence. Lauren opens the heavy oak door to find Miles Thornton standing there, his slick smile as oily as his tailored suit. Miles is her ex-boyfriend from years ago, a man she dated briefly before Grayson swept her off her feet. He's a shark in the New York business world, always circling for a profit. "Lauren," he says, his voice smooth like honey, "you're looking radiant. Mind if I come in?" She stiffens, her instincts screaming trouble, but she steps aside. "What do you want, Miles?" she asks, crossing her arms. He strolls into the foyer, his eyes scanning the marble floors and crystal chandeliers like he's pricing them. "I heard Sterling Corp is on shaky ground," he says. 5 years without Grayson at the helm, it's no surprise. I'm here to help." Lauren narrows her eyes. "Help? You mean take advantage?" Miles chuckles, unfazed. "Call it what you want. I've got investors ready to buy out Sterling Corp. You'd walk away with a nice cut, enough to start over. Grayson's not coming back, Lauren. You don't have to play the grieving widow anymore." His words sting, but they also light a fire in her. She thinks of the diary, Grayson's promises of forever, and her own vow to keep him alive. "This is his company," she snaps. "Our company. I'm not selling it to you or anyone else." Miles steps closer, his smile fading. "Think about it. You're alone, running out of time. I can make this easy." Lauren squares her shoulders, her voice cold. "Get out, Miles, now." He lingers for a moment, then shrugs. "Your loss," he says, and walks out, leaving a chill in the air. She slams the door behind him, her heart pounding. Miles isn't just a vulture, he's a threat. Sterling Corp has been struggling since Grayson's accident, its stock dipping lower each month. Lauren knows she can't let it fall into his hands. She heads back to Grayson's room, sitting by his side, her fingers brushing his hand. "I won't let him take this from us," she whispers. "I'll fight for you." Grayson hears every word, his chest tightening. He's watched her for a year, waiting for signs of betrayal, but this is the Lauren he fell in love with, fierce and loyal. Yet doubt still gnaws at him, planted by whispers from his past. Days later, another storm brews. Lauren is in the kitchen brewing coffee when the doorbell rings again. This time it's Vanessa Pierce, Grayson's ex-fiancée, stepping into the mansion like she owns it. Vanessa is stunning, her blonde hair cascading over a designer coat, her heels clicking with authority. She's been gone for 5 years, living in Paris, but now she's back, her green eyes sharp with intent. "Lauren," she says, her tone dripping with fake warmth. "It's been too long." Lauren sets her mug down, wary. "What brings you here, Vanessa?" Vanessa smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. "I heard about Sterling Corp. Thought I'd check in. Grayson was my fiancé once, you know. I still care." Lauren bristles at the word fiancé. Vanessa and Grayson were engaged years ago, before Lauren entered the picture. The breakup was messy, and Vanessa never forgave her for taking Grayson away. "He's my husband," Lauren says, her voice steady. "I've got this under control." Vanessa tilts her head, studying her. "Do you? 5 years is a long time to play nurse. People talk, Lauren. They say you're only here for the money, that you've been waiting for him to die." The accusation hits like a slap, but Lauren holds her ground. "You don't know me," she says, "and you don't know us." Vanessa laughs, a brittle sound. "Oh, I know more than you think." Grayson deserved better than this limbo. Maybe he still does. Lauren's hands clench into fists. "Get out," she says, echoing her words to Miles. Vanessa smirks, turning to leave. "Think about what's best for him," she calls over her shoulder. "I'll be around." The door closes and Lauren sinks into a chair, her mind racing. Vanessa's words cut deep, stirring doubts she's tried to bury. Has she been good enough for Grayson? Does he deserve more than this half-life she's given him? She doesn't see Grayson's eyes flicker open for a moment, watching her wrestle with her thoughts. He's heard Vanessa's poison before. Her letters to Charles claiming Lauren's loyalty was a lie. It's why he's testing her, why he's stayed silent for a year. But seeing her now, defiant against Vanessa, he feels a pang of guilt. Lauren doesn't waste time. She heads to the study, pulling out files on Sterling Corp. The company's finances are a mess, bleeding money since Grayson's accident. Miles and Vanessa aren't wrong about its weakness, but she refuses to let them win. She spends hours poring over reports, her coffee growing cold. She's no business genius, but she's determined to find a way. Grayson taught her resilience, even if he doesn't know it now. She glances at a photo on the desk. Their wedding day 5 years ago. Her in white, him beaming. "I'll fix this," she says to the picture. "For you." Meanwhile, Grayson lies in his bed, replaying the day in his mind. He's been awake for a year, his body's stronger than anyone knows, thanks to Dr. Ellis and the Hamptons retreat. He came back to the mansion 6 months ago, slipping into his coma act, needing to see if Lauren would sell him out. Miles's visit was a test he'd expected, but Vanessa's return surprises him. She's the ghost he can't shake, the one who broke his heart before Lauren healed it. Her presence stirs old wounds, and he wonders if she's here to finish what she started 5 years ago. He remembers the accident, the screech of tires, the blur of headlights. Was it really an accident? Or was Vanessa behind it, as he's begun to suspect? Lauren returns to his room that night, her face tired but resolute. She sits beside him, taking his hand. "I don't care what they say," she murmurs. "I'm not giving up on us." She takes a sip of water, leans in, and presses her lips to his, letting the droplets pass. It's her ritual, her silent promise. Grayson feels it, the warmth of her breath, the softness of her touch. For a year he's felt her do this, and each time it chips away at his doubts, but he stays still, his secret locked tight. Miles and Vanessa are circling, and the truth about the accident looms closer. Lauren's fight is just beginning, and Grayson's test is about to take a turn neither of them expects. The air in the Sterling mansion feels heavier now, thick with unspoken stakes. Lauren Hayes has made up her mind. She's not just fighting for Grayson Sterling's life, but for their legacy, their love, everything they built before that fateful accident 5 years ago. The diary Charles gave her sits on the nightstand, its pages a constant reminder of the man she married, the man she's determined to save. She's up early this morning, her coffee steaming as she sits at the kitchen island, papers spread out before her. Sterling Corporation is teetering on the edge, its stock plummeting since Grayson's coma left a void at the top. Miles Thornton and Vanessa Pierce are vultures waiting to swoop in, and Lauren knows she can't let them win. She's no financial wizard, but she's resourceful. She spends days on the phone, meeting with bankers in sleek Manhattan offices, her voice steady as she pitches a plan. "I need a loan," she tells them, her chin high. $30 million. Sterling Corp has assets, history, potential. I'm investing in a film, Endless Winter, to turn things around. The bankers raise eyebrows, but her passion sways them. She signs the papers, her hand trembling slightly as she commits to the risk. It's a gamble, but it's for Grayson, for the life he wrote about in that diary. She doesn't know that Grayson, lying silently in his room, has heard her late-night calls through the walls. He's been awake for a year, his body healed in secret at the Hamptons under Dr. Ellis's care. And now he's back, testing her. This move with the loan surprises him, stirring something he hasn't felt in a long time: hope. Lauren's days blur into a whirlwind. She meets with the film's director, a quirky guy named Tom, who's thrilled to have Sterling money behind his indie project. "This could be big," he tells her over coffee in a Tribeca cafe. "Huge box office potential." She nods, her mind racing with numbers and dreams. She's not just saving a company, she's building a future. But the weight of it all presses down on her. Nights find her back at Grayson's bedside, her ritual unchanged. She takes a sip of water, leans in, and lets it pass from her lips to his, a quiet act of love she's done for 5 years. "We're going to make it," she whispers, her voice soft but fierce. Grayson feels it, the cool water, the warmth of her breath, and it takes everything in him to stay still. For a year he's watched her, searching for cracks in her loyalty, but this moment tests his resolve. Then, a new shadow creeps into her world. It's a crisp evening when Lauren attends a Wall Street gala, a glittering event at a rooftop venue overlooking the city. She's there to network, to shore up support for Sterling Corp., her black dress hugging her frame as she moves through the crowd. That's when she sees him. A man in a sharp suit, his presence commanding, his voice low and familiar. He introduces himself as Mr. Pierce, a mysterious investor with a reputation for turning failing companies around. "Sterling Corp's been on my radar," he says, his eyes locking with hers. "I'm intrigued." Lauren's heart skips. There's something about his voice, a timbre that echoes Grayson's, but she shakes it off. "We're not failing," she replies, her tone firm. "We're rebuilding." He smiles, a flicker of something unreadable in his gaze. "I like a fighter," he says, and walks away, leaving her unsettled. Grayson, of course, is Mr. Pierce. He's been playing this role for months, slipping into the business world to gather intel, to see if Lauren would sell out to men like Miles. He's kept his distance, his face half hidden in shadows at these events, but tonight, he couldn't resist getting closer. Her fire, her defiance. It's the Lauren he remembers, the one he wrote about in that diary. But Vanessa's whispers still haunt him. She'd written to Charles a year ago, claiming Lauren was biding her time, waiting for Grayson to die. He needs proof, and so he watches, his heart a battlefield of trust and doubt. Lauren can't shake the encounter. Mr. Pierce starts appearing more often, at board meetings, charity dinners, always with that voice that tugs at her memory. She digs into his background but finds nothing concrete. "Who is this guy?" she mutters one night, pacing the study. She glances at Grayson's photo on the wall, his smile frozen in time. "You'd know what to do," she says, her voice breaking. She's tired, stretched thin between the company and her vigil, but she keeps going. The film investment is gaining buzz, and Sterling Corp's stock ticks up slightly. She's winning, but the cost is high. She feels alone, even with Grayson's silent presence. It's a stormy night, a week later, when everything changes. Rain lashes the mansion windows as Lauren sits by Grayson's bed, her hands trembling from exhaustion. She's just come from a tense meeting with investors, her mind a tangle of numbers and threats. Miles called earlier, his voice smug. "Your little film won't save you," he'd said. "Sell now or lose everything." She'd hung up, but his words linger. She looks at Grayson, his face pale in the dim light, and feels a wave of despair. "I'm trying so hard," she says, her voice cracking. "I need you to know that." She takes a sip of water, her ritual a comfort in the chaos, and leans in. Her lips touch his, the water passing between them, a silent prayer. And then it happens. Grayson's lips move, pressing back against hers, a kiss, real and alive. Lauren gasps, pulling away, her eyes wide. His eyes flutter open, meeting hers, and for a moment the world stops. "Grayson?" she whispers, her voice shaking. He nods, his voice hoarse from disuse. "I'm here." She stares, disbelief crashing over her. "You're awake? How long?" He sits up slowly, his strength surprising her. "A year," he says, his gaze steady. "I woke up a year ago." Lauren's breath catches, her mind reeling. "A year? And you didn't tell me?" Anger flares, hot and sudden. "I've been killing myself to keep us afloat, and you've been awake this whole time?" Grayson reaches for her hand, but she pulls back. "I had to know," he says, his voice low. "I had to be sure you weren't like them." "Like who?" she demands. "Miles? Vanessa? You think I'd betray you?" He looks away, guilt shadowing his face. "Vanessa said things," he admits. "She told Charles you were waiting for me to die, that you'd sell out. I couldn't risk it." Lauren stands, her fists clenched. 5 years, Grayson. 5 years I've stayed, fought, loved you, and you test me like this? She turns to leave, but his voice stops her. I felt you, he says, softer now. Every time you did that with the water, I felt you. It's why I'm still here. She freezes, tears welling up. Before she can respond, the phone rings, shattering the moment. It's Charles, his voice urgent. Vanessa's at the gala tonight, he says. She's hinting she knows something about the accident. Be careful. Lauren hangs up, her mind spinning. She looks at Grayson, still sitting there, alive and real. What accident? She asks. He hesitates, then says, The one that put me here. I think Vanessa caused it. Her eyes narrow. And you didn't tell me that either. He nods, shame in his expression. I was gathering proof. I didn't want to drag you in until I was sure. Lauren's heart pounds, a mix of fury and fear. Vanessa's words at the door echo back. I know more than you think. She grabs her coat. I'm going to that gala, she says. I need answers. Grayson stands, unsteady but determined. I'm coming with you. She shakes her head. You've been hiding for a year. Stay here. But his eyes burn with something fierce. Not this time, he says. They lock eyes, the air charged with everything unsaid. Lauren doesn't know it yet, but Vanessa's hint is about to unravel a truth that will push them both to the edge. The rain beats down on New York City, turning the streets into rivers of silver as Lauren Hayes speeds toward the Wall Street gala. Her hands grip the steering wheel, knuckles white, her mind a storm of betrayal and determination. Beside her, Grayson Sterling sits, his face taut with resolve despite the weakness in his limbs. He's been awake for a year, hiding the truth, and just minutes ago he dropped a bombshell. Vanessa Pierce, his ex-fiancée, might have caused the car accident that stole 5 years of his life. Lauren's still reeling from the kiss that woke her world, from the sting of his year-long deception, but there's no time to process it now. Vanessa's at the gala, dropping hints like breadcrumbs, and Lauren needs the truth. The gala is in full swing when they arrive, a dazzling affair atop a skyscraper, its glass walls reflecting the city's glow. Lauren storms in, her black dress soaked from the rain, Grayson trailing behind, his presence a shock to the crowd. Whispers ripple through the room as people recognize him, the billionaire CEO, back from the dead. Vanessa stands near the bar, a glass of champagne in hand, her blonde hair catching the light. She turns and her smile freezes when she sees Grayson. Well, she says, her voice smooth but edged. This is unexpected. Lauren steps forward, her eyes blazing. You've got some explaining to do, she says. What do you know about the accident? Grayson takes a breath, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. I've been awake for a year, Vanessa, he says, the room hushing around them, hiding, watching. I know you were there that night. I've spent 12 months digging, and I've got proof. You caused it. The crowd gasps, but Vanessa laughs, a sharp, brittle sound. Proof? You're delusional, Grayson. 5 years in a coma scrambled your brain. Lauren clenches her fists. Then why hint about it? She snaps. You came to our house, said you knew more than I thought. What game are you playing? Vanessa's eyes narrow, her composure slipping. You don't deserve him, she hisses. You never did. Grayson steps closer, his voice low and dangerous. I found the mechanic's report, he says. The brakes were tampered with. A witness saw your car near the garage that night. You wanted me gone because I chose her. Vanessa's face pales, but she recovers fast. Lies, she says. You can't prove anything. Lauren feels a surge of anger, but before she can speak, Grayson grabs her hand. I didn't tell you, he says, turning to her, because I wanted to handle it alone. I thought you'd leave if you knew how dark this got, but I was wrong. I should have trusted you. His words hit her hard, softening the edge of her fury, but the moment is cut short. A shadow moves in the crowd, and suddenly, Miles Thornton emerges, his eyes glinting with menace. Enough of this, he says, pulling a sleek pistol from his jacket. The room erupts in screams as guests scatter. "You should have stayed asleep, Grayson," Miles snarls. "Sterling Corp was mine for the taking until you woke up." Lauren's heart stops as Miles aims at Grayson, but she doesn't hesitate. She lunges, shoving Grayson aside just as the gun fires. The bullet grazes her arm, a hot streak of pain, and they crash to the floor. Grayson scrambles to shield her, his strength faltering but his will ironclad. "Stay down," he growls, but Lauren's already pushing back, her adrenaline surging. Security bursts in, tackling Miles, but he fights like a cornered animal, shouting, "Vanessa promised me the company." The guards wrestle the gun away, pinning him as he spits curses. Lauren clings to Grayson, blood seeping through her sleeve, her breath ragged. "You idiot," she says, her voice shaking. "You could have died." He looks at her, his eyes fierce with something raw. "Not while you're here," he says. The chaos slows, but Vanessa slips toward the exit, her heels clicking fast. Grayson spots her, his jaw tightening. "She's not getting away," he says, staggering to his feet. Lauren grabs his arm. "We do this together," she insists, and he nods, a flicker of trust breaking through. They chase Vanessa into the night, the rain soaking them as she ducks into a waiting car. Grayson flags down a cab and they follow, the city blurring past. "She's headed to Brooklyn," he says, his voice grim. "I tracked her accounts. She's got a hideout there." Lauren's arm throbs, but she pushes the pain aside. "Why?" she asks. "Why go this far?" Grayson's hands clench. "She loved me once," he says. "When I chose you, it broke her. The accident was her revenge." The cab screeches to a stop outside an abandoned warehouse, its windows dark and shattered. Vanessa's car idles ahead, and they step out, the rain masking their approach. Inside the warehouse is a cavern of shadows, the air thick with damp and rust. Vanessa's voice echoes as she paces, phone pressed to her ear. "Miles failed," she snaps. "Get me out of here!" Lauren and Grayson creep closer, but a floorboard creaks, and Vanessa spins, her eyes wild. "You," she says, pulling a knife from her purse. "You just won't quit." She lunges at Lauren, the blade flashing, but Grayson throws himself between them, taking a shallow cut to his side. He grunts, shoving Vanessa back, and Lauren grabs a rusted pipe, swinging it hard. It connects with Vanessa's arm, sending the knife clattering. "Enough!" Lauren shouts, her voice echoing. Vanessa stumbles, clutching her arm, her defiance crumbling. "I loved him," she says, tears mixing with the rain on her face. "You took everything." Lauren steps forward, her breath heaving. "You almost took him from me," she says. 5 years, Vanessa. I fought for him every day." Grayson grips Lauren's shoulder, his voice steady despite the pain. "It's over," he says. "The police have Miles. They'll have you too." Headlights pierce the darkness as sirens wail closer. Vanessa sinks to her knees, defeated, as officers storm in, cuffing her. But the night isn't done. Back at the mansion, it's the day of their vow renewal, a celebration planned to mark Grayson's return. The ballroom glows with candles, guests buzzing with the news of his awakening. Lauren stands in a white gown, her arm bandaged, her heart full. Grayson, still bruised but standing tall, takes her hand. "I need to tell you something," he says, his voice low amid the chatter. "I let Vanessa go once to protect you. I thought revenge was enough, but it's you I need." Lauren's eyes soften, the hurt of his secrecy fading. "You scared me," she says. "Hiding like that." He nods, guilt in his gaze. "I know. I should have trusted you sooner." Before they can finish, a crash echoes from the foyer. Miles bursts in, freed from custody by a bribe, his face twisted with rage. "You think you've won?" he yells, pulling a hidden blade. Guests scream, but Lauren's faster this time. She grabs a champagne bottle, smashing it over his head as Grayson tackles him. Security rushes in, dragging Miles away for good, his threats fading into the night. Lauren and Grayson collapse together, breathless, their hands entwined. "No more secrets," he says, his forehead against hers. She smiles, shaky but sure. "No more," she agrees. The ceremony begins, and they stand before the crowd, rain still dripping from the windows. Grayson takes her hands, his voice clear. 5 years ago, I lost you to that accident, he says. A year ago, I woke up, afraid to trust, but you never stopped fighting. I choose you, Lauren, now and always. Tears slip down her cheeks as she speaks. I stayed for you, she says. Every day, every drop of water, it was for us. I choose you too. They kiss, a vow sealed in the storm they've survived, the crowd erupting in cheers. The danger is gone, but the real test lies ahead, rebuilding their love from the ashes of secrets and revenge. The Sterling mansion glows under the soft light of dawn, the storm of the previous night finally giving way to a crisp, golden morning. Inside, the ballroom is still abuzz from the chaos of the vow renewal, where Lauren Hayes and Grayson Sterling face down Miles Thornton's final, desperate attack. The shattered champagne bottle lies in a corner, a silent testament to their victory. But the air now hums with a different energy. Relief, hope, and the promise of a new beginning. Lauren stands by the grand windows, her white gown slightly torn, her bandaged arm a badge of her courage. Grayson is beside her, his side patched up, his suit rumpled but his presence steady. They've survived the night, but the weight of 5 years and one hidden year lingers between them. Guests linger in small clusters, their whispers a mix of awe and excitement. Grayson Sterling, the billionaire CEO thought lost forever, is back, and Lauren, his unwavering wife, has proven her love in ways no one expected. Charles Sterling approaches, his silver cane tapping the floor, his eyes misty with pride. "You two," he says, his voice gruff but warm. "You've turned this old man's heart upside down. I never doubted you, Lauren." She smiles, a tired but genuine curve of her lips. "Thank you, Charles," she says. "That diary saved us." He nods, patting Grayson's shoulder. "You've got a fighter here, son. Don't let her go again." Grayson meets his grandfather's gaze, a silent vow in his eyes, then turns to Lauren. The crowd hushes as Grayson takes her hands, pulling her away from the windows to the center of the room. His touch is firm, grounding her after the whirlwind of danger. "I need to say this," he begins, his voice carrying over the murmurs. "In front of everyone." Lauren's breath catches, her heart pounding as he continues. 5 years ago, that accident took me from you. I was gone, lost in darkness, and for a year after I woke up, I stayed hidden. I was a fool, Lauren. I let Vanessa's lies twist me, made me doubt the one person who never gave up. His voice cracks and he pauses, steadying himself. "I woke up a year ago in the Hamptons, thanks to Dr. Ellis. I could have come back then, but I didn't. I was afraid you'd changed, afraid you'd stayed for the money, not me." Lauren's eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't pull away. "Grayson," she starts, but he shakes his head, needing to finish. "I came back 6 months ago," he says. "Slipped into that bed, pretended I was still gone. I wanted to see the truth, and every day I saw it. You fought for Sterling Corp, faced down Miles, stood up to Vanessa. Every night I felt you, that water you gave me, your lips on mine. It wasn't just water, Lauren. It was you, keeping me alive, reminding me who I was." His hands tighten around hers, his voice dropping to a raw whisper. "I let Vanessa go last night, gave up revenge, because I realized something. It's not about her, or the past. It's about you. I choose you, now and always." The room is silent, every eye on them, but Lauren only sees him. Her tears spill over, and she steps closer, her voice trembling but strong. 5 years, she says. 5 years I stayed. I didn't know if you'd ever wake up, but I couldn't leave. That diary showed me the man I loved, and I fought for him every day. When Miles came, when Vanessa taunted me, I kept going. And that water? It was my promise, Grayson. Every drop was me saying I'd never let you go. She laughed softly, a shaky sound. Then you kissed me back, and I was so mad. You hid for a year, tested me, and I hated it. But I get it now. You were scared, too. Grayson's eyes soften, a smile breaking through his guilt. "I was," he admits, but not anymore. He drops to one knee, pulling a ring from his pocket, the same one he gave her 5 years ago, now polished anew. "Lauren Hayes," he says, "I lost you once to that accident. I hid from you for a year, and I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. Marry me again, here, in front of everyone. Let's start over, no secrets, just us." The crowd gasps, a ripple of delight spreading, but Lauren's world narrows to him. She nods, tears streaming down her face. "Yes," she says, her voice clear. "Yes, Grayson, always." He slips the ring onto her finger, standing to pull her into a kiss, deep and tender, sealing their vow as the room erupts in applause. The celebration shifts, the tension of the night melting into joy. Guests raise glasses, toasting the couple who defied the odds. Charles steps forward, his voice booming. "To Grayson and Lauren," he says, "proof that love can weather any storm." The clink of crystal fills the air, and Lauren leans into Grayson, her head resting on his shoulder. "No more hiding," she whispers. He kisses her forehead, his breath warm against her skin. "Never again," he promises. They sway together, the music soft, the world fading away. For the first time in 5 years, they feel whole. Days turn into weeks, and Sterling Corp begins to heal. Lauren's gamble on endless winter pays off in a way no one saw coming. The film hits theaters, its indie charm and gripping story drawing crowds across the country. Critics rave, calling it a sleeper hit, and the box office numbers soar. By the end of its run, it's grossed over $700 million, a windfall that pulls Sterling Corp back from the brink. Lauren sits in the boardroom, her name now synonymous with the company's revival, her vision proving stronger than Miles or Vanessa ever imagined. Grayson watches her from across the table, pride in his eyes. "You did this," he says later in the quiet of their office. "Not me," she smiles, shaking her head. "We did it together." Vanessa's fate is sealed. The police, armed with Grayson's evidence and Miles's confession, arrest her for the accident 5 years ago. She's convicted, her Paris dreams crumbling as she's sentenced to prison. Miles, too, faces justice, his bribes exposed, his empire collapsing. The threats are gone, and the Sterling name shines brighter than ever. Lauren takes the film's profits and launches Dreamscape Studios, her own production company, a dream she'd buried during those long years by Grayson's side. The grand opening is a star-studded event in Manhattan, her name on every lip as a symbol of resilience and love. Grayson stands beside her, his arm around her waist, whispering, "You're incredible." One evening, they escape the city, driving to Central Park as the sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. It's a quiet moment, just the two of them on a bench near the Bethesda fountain, the water sparkling in the twilight. Lauren rests her head on his shoulder, her hand in his. "I used to dream of this," she says, her voice soft. "Us, together, after everything." Grayson turns to her, his eyes warm. "I dreamed of you too," he says. "Even in that coma, I think I heard you, felt you. That's why I fought to come back." She smiles, a tear slipping down her cheek. "No more tests?" she asks, teasing. He laughs, a rich, free sound. "No more tests, just us." He pulls her closer, their lips meeting in a kiss that feels like a promise kept. "What now?" she asks, pulling back to look at him. "Now," he says, "we build something new. A life, a family, whatever you want." Lauren nods, her heart full. "A family," she says. "Someday. But first, I want you, just you." They sit there, wrapped in each other, the city humming around them. 5 years of silence, a year of secrets, and a night of danger have led them here, to this perfect, fragile moment. Sterling Corp thrives, Dreamscape Studios rises, but none of it matters as much as this. Lauren and Grayson, together at last, their love stronger than ever, a bond forged in the fire of their past and shining bright in the promise of their future. And there you have it, the incredible journey of Lauren Hayes and Grayson Sterling, a love story that defied the odds, survived the darkest storms, and emerged stronger than ever. Picture them now, sitting hand in hand by the Bethesda fountain in Central Park, the New York skyline glowing behind them as the sun sets. 5 years ago, a tragic accident tore them apart, locking Grayson in a coma and leaving Lauren to fight alone. For 5 long years, she stayed by his side, proving her love with every drop of water she pressed to his lips, a quiet promise that kept their bond alive. And then, a year ago, Grayson woke up, but he hid the truth, testing her loyalty, wrestling with doubts planted by Vanessa Pierce and Miles Thornton. It wasn't easy. They faced betrayal, danger, and secrets that could have broken them. Vanessa's revenge nearly ended Grayson's life, and Miles's greed threatened to steal everything they'd built. But through it all, Lauren's strength shone bright. She saved Sterling Corporation with a daring investment in Endless Winter, turning $700 million into a lifeline for their future. Grayson found his way back to her, choosing love over vengeance, and together they faced down their enemies, rebuilding their trust one moment at a time. Vanessa's behind bars now, Miles is gone, and Lauren's Dreamscape Studios is rising, a testament to her courage and vision. They've promised each other a future, a family someday, but for now it's just them. 2 souls who found their way back through the darkness. So what's the takeaway from this epic tale? It's simple. True love isn't just about the easy moments. It's about standing firm when everything falls apart, about fighting through the shadows to find the light on the other side. Lauren and Grayson showed us that love is a choice, a battle, a victory worth every scar. And that's a story worth sharing. If their journey moved you, if it made your heart skip a beat or brought a tear to your eye, then hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel because there are more tales of love and triumph coming your way. Share this video with someone who needs to believe in second chances. Let's keep the magic of their story alive together. Until next time, keep loving, keep fighting, and I'll see you in the next one.